we just make sure we're there. Oh, okay.
The mics are muted here.
Yeah,
Fine.
it's also being done by your Bluetooth and even the access points wherever you're connected to each point of site. And the thing is, how does this happen? It's basically because you have permitted yourself while you're setting up the app for the first time. It's pretty crazy, but thing is, OpenStreetMap does not allow you to do this, so it doesn't. You will not be under the threat of being tracked. And secondly, it's API based. So let's just say that if you're trying to develop a website or an application which requires you to put a map in it, you would obviously go to the best one, which is Google Maps API. But the thing is, its free trial only runs for like 90 days, and then after that you have to, and after that it's a paid service. So essentially, you're gonna have to start paying in order to use your API calls. But the thing is, with OSMs, it's completely free no matter what. So you don't really have to worry about the number of API calls that your application is going to make. And thirdly, the most important bit is that you can download these maps for your offline usage in case you're going to places where there is no network coverage of sorts. And you can't really do that with Google Maps. So let's just say that you're going on a trek and you just open Google Maps and now you're lost. You can't do that. But with OSM, you can download these maps prior to your trips, and then you can use it anywhere else in the world. And the thing is, open source maps, even though it has a lot of merits to it, I still feel like there is a lot of room for improvement. So how can we, mere students make OpenStreetMap better? And it's simple, through small contributions whenever you can. So let's just say that you're taking a walk in a park, and you're using a mapping platform which basically does not have a map in it. So that's a missing node, right? So someone has to fill it. You can do it yourself by simply just logging into OpenStreetMap.org and then clicking on the edit button and then adding the node yourself. And the changes that you make will be reflected in a few hours, and at worst maybe like a few days or so, and you're good to go. And the thing is, if you want to contribute through your phone within minutes, you can use Postmark and Street Compute. So the thing is, one thing that you must keep in mind if you're using Postmark is that you will have to resync your offline maps after you make the changes in OpenStreetMap. So the thing is, it's a pro feature to actually get the maps like synced automatically. So you need to do it manually in case you don't have a pro feature. And coming to Street Compute, this is a very interesting one. This is a little different. The thing is, this sort of gamifies the experience of adding contributions. So let's say that you're in this college right now, you have the app open, and you can contribute to OSM through quests, which are kind of like MCQs. Let's say that there's a quest on your map, you click on it. The question is there a water dispenser here or not? So they simply arise like simple MCQs in your ISA. So yes, no, or can't say if you don't know any information. And OMaps is a wonderful alternative to Google Maps. It is powered by OSM obviously, and it is a lighter version and it's less complicated than OS Maps. So the thing is, there are plenty of alternatives like this, and they are useful in different use cases. So let's say that you are again going on a trek, and in this case, you can use OSM because it has 3D and satellite imaging, which could help you with accurate representation of the terrain that you're going to step into. Meanwhile, you can use Google Maps if you're going to roam in and around your city, which is basically a lightweight usage of it. And here are some of the contributions that I had made over the past few days, and some of the things are might be pretty silly, but there's a cafe near Jakarta metro station. It's kind of new, and I realized that they hadn't added it to OSM, and so I felt obligated to do that. And second is that small food shack near the parking over there. That wasn't added either. And my most important contribution is this. This wasn't listed at all. In fact, I legit, this was the first thing I went and searched, and I was like, okay, this is there or not. And it wasn't. Unfortunately, KFC was there, Pizza Hut was there, etc., etc. I was like, I have to add it. So, yeah, this happened. So the thing is, the beauty of OpenStreetMap is that no matter how big or small your location is, you can, contribute and add that node like within a few minutes, and then those changes will be occurring in a few hours or so. And that's the thing. So even though OSM is really good for its time right now, I still feel like it has a long way to go in terms of its functionalities. For example, right now you have your live traffic updates, and you also have public transit info on Google Maps and stuff, which is very useful when it comes to traveling in big cities like Bangalore. And the thing is, it's still largely primitive because OSM heavily relies on its community of contributors to actually put in like locations, contribute to it, and eventually maintaining its entire map system. The thing is, how you guys could help, each and every one of you, is to simply contribute to OSM whenever you can. Like, let's just say you go to some random place, that landmark does not exist on the map platform that you're using. You can just add it in a few minutes and then you're done. So, in a way, you're just trying to improve OSM one step at a time, and hopefully one day we'll see that open source maps, could be better than most proprietary software that is out there. And another interesting fun fact that I learned this morning is that Olam is a huge contributor to OSM since 2023. And the thing is, they are using OSM to help their own in-house mapping platform, that is Olam Maps. And in a way, they are also contributing to OSM by adding the locations that are not there on their map system already. And in a way, that is also contributing to their own map system and also to the mapping platform, also to the Maps of India as well. So it goes to show that even huge corporations could somehow turn to open source software eventually, if and when. And that's where I'll be ending my talk guys. And this was open source mapping. And so happy mapping.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Sarah and I will be talking about Indic Dictionaries. This talk takes inspiration from a talk given by Kailash Nath at Mangalore First. If we look at some of his work, he is the CTO of Zerodha. He is also the founder of Zerodha's tech team. He is the founder of Indic Digital Archive Foundation, which is basically an archive for all Indian language dictionaries. As of now, he has worked on Olam.in, which is a Malayalam to English dictionary, and Alar.in, which is a Kannada to English dictionary. And he also has made an open source searchable dictionary, which is called Dictpress. So how it works is, it incorporates the Olam or the Alar, and you can search for a word, and the best result shows up. Yeah, this is Olam. It is a Malayalam to English dictionary, and this is Alar. Basically, Dictpress is compiled into a single binary and it is used to render the UI for both of these. Okay. So if we talk about how he got the inspiration for this, he wanted to look up a word, a Malayalam word on Google, right? He got a list of websites that were not at all relevant with too many pop-up ads, and he got frustrated and he wrote the first 10 entries himself. Then he came across the work of KJ Joseph through a Yahoo group, and it had 200,000 entries, which he used to further improve Olam. He came across the work of B. Krishna through an overheard conversation, and his work was mainly dealing with Kannada to English translations. So he used that to start Alar.in, which was a Kannada to English dictionary. Then he came across the work of N. Sridharan, which had information about all South Indian languages. Telugu, Kannada, Tamil, Malayalam, and he used those to further improve Olar and Alam, and also another dictionary called Samam.in, which has all South Indian languages. Finally, he found the work of E.P. Philip through a reference, and it had over 2 billion entries, which is easily the largest dictionary data set available in the world. So, if we talk about Dictpress, so you search for a word, this search appears. How does this work? In English. English is a fairly simple language to implement search in. So in English, for every word, there are multiple forms of the same word, right? Like swim, swimmer, swimming. So how do you implement search? So stemming is a technique where you reduce your word to its root form. So all these words have been reduced to the root form, which is swim. And then when you search for any of these, all of those show up. But what about Indian languages? Indian languages are notorious for having variations in their spellings, right? You can spell the same word with a T or with a TH, it doesn't matter. So Indian languages are also called as Apubeta languages, which means the same letter can have the sound of a consonant and a vowel in it, which makes it 10 times more difficult to implement search. So what solution could possibly be implemented? We could look at things from a purely phonetic perspective to maybe implement a solution for this. What we came up with was an algorithm which is called ML-Phone. So what ML-Phone does is it takes Malayalam words and it maps them to a hash code of Romanized English, and then it maps it to the database. So if you see here, Yesaru, Asar, all of them are mapped to HSR. And elephant, even if you misspell the word, it is mapped to the same because it's purely phonetic. This is a further deep dive into what ML-Phone does. There are 3 key values. The first key value is a very broad understanding. It uses a metaphor-like algorithm to convert the Malayalam consonant to an English consonant. The second key is a little more detailed. it uses the hard sounds, like the sound you can't directly map to an English letter, to a key which changes from one, which is one, and then the key two, it uses the first two plus it adds modifiers, right? So because I said that it has both the consonants and vowels, it uses modifiers as well. So as you can see here, the first few values, the first one is for hard sounds. The second key is for compound letters, where you get two letters in the same letter. And the keys 3 to 9 are for modifiers. So the process of making this search algorithm is, you get a Malayalam word, you make sure that there's only Malayalam letters in there, and then you split it into letters with modifiers and letters without modifiers. And then further, the letters with modifiers you split it into compounds and not non-compounds. And you do the same for the words that have no modifiers, right? And then you effectively replace each and every letter with the key value, and that is how you get your key 2. To go from your key 2 to key 3, you remove all the key 2s and all the keys 4 through 9. And to get from key 0 to key 1, you remove key 1, key 2 and the keys 4 through 9. So you get the simplest form of the word in key 0, which is a very broad understanding. So this is how it uses such a mapping to get a romanized English hash code for your Malayalam word. Similar algorithms for KN phone, which is for Kannada, and he realized it's similar for all Indian languages, so he could generalize it to Indic phone. Right. So now, if we, this is one of the features that has been implemented using open source contribution itself, how to compute using Reddit. If we look at the technical perspective, the first version up to the fourth version was made using Go and Postgres. Why Go? Because as I mentioned earlier, you needed to compile Dictpress into a single binary, so it could be used for both Alar and Dictpress, which is why we use Go. And Postgres, because Postgres has full text search for Indian languages like Hindi and Bengali, and other languages to be implemented by plugins. Right? So why does switch from Postgres to SQLite, which we see in the fifth version? This is because we wanted to make it open source, such that anyone can go and add their words, add their definitions as they want, right? The prompt for Postgres or the queries for Postgres are slightly more complex. Secondly, Postgres has a client-server architecture. It introduces network latency. So for all these reasons, he said that Postgres might be an overkill for this reason, for this purpose. Which is why the switch to SQLite. SQLite is very simple. The queries are nice, and you can just make a file and share it everywhere. It's portable, and you have the entire database. It is serverless as well. And then he switched from Go to Rust, because again, Go doesn't have built-in SQLite support, and he used UA scripting for SQLite, and even plugins in Go is much of a hassle, which is why they switched from Go to Rust. The shortcoming with this is that it is still a very controversial topic, because vernacular languages are underrepresented, accent differences make it difficult for the phonetic representations, and even different spellings across dialects of the same language. So this is why it is still a controversial matter. There was some debate around the transliteration feature that they built because of the different spellings across dialects, which they decided to completely remove in the file of the language. So, yeah, the future plans again to make Dictpress generalized for all Indian languages. So, to make it like a centralized platform where you can go search any word and get the language and the meaning. Add support for vernacular languages, accent differences. You can contribute to, if you're fascinated by this, it's all open source. You can go, you can add words, you can make a dictionary for an entire language yourself. This is a very beautiful code by Kailash that you can read, and you can scan this for the source code and the Dictpress link. Thank you.
I think we list out on questions. So if anyone has questions for Selva or Sarah as well, I think we can go ahead.
In math, so do you install that? So Like, why is the joke people adding locations?
That is very much possible. I will forget to right?
Sir, if you could repeat the question as well.
Okay, so he asked that, okay, how do you prevent like people having joke locations? So the issue is that is very much possible and things have been happening like that because the talk that I had went to, he did mention that a friend of his added a volcano on top of his college, which is obviously possible. But the thing is, I think that eventually boils down to you being responsible enough to not add stupid features in and around voice because that is something everyone is using.